Good morning. My name is Kathy Dunn. It is September 25th, 2011, and I'm here to make another submission to YouTube about my status with Lyme's disease. I submitted a YouTube video last November, I believe it was, in 2010, with the promise that I would be submitting lots more videos. It was my introduction at the beginning of treatment. I had been treating holistically for about a year at that time, and then in December of 2010 I started taking oral antibiotics, which will explain why I made no further entries, because it hit me hard. I had massive brain fog. I was very, very tired and fatigued and could hardly hold my head up. I'm still in the wheelchair. I don't know if you can see it here. There's the handle. And so that much is still true, but I have improved significantly. My vision has gotten better. My speech, my cognitive ability has improved remarkably. My word retrieval is so much more improved, and treatment continues. I am now using IV antibiotics as of a month ago. I've hit the 1 month mark 2 days ago, and I am happy that I've talked to my practitioner, and it sounds like we're going to go for 6 months, or quote unquote, she said, however long it takes. So I'm in it for the long haul. I want to get up out of this wheelchair and be done with it. I have a lot of things to do in this life, mainly of which includes advocating for those of you who are suffering from this horrible illness. It has been quite the journey. I have been 17, 18 years in this wheelchair. I was diagnosed with MS originally, and I received the appropriate diagnosis. Well, actually I didn't receive. I suspected, and I acted on it holistically. My treatment confirmed that I had Lyme's disease, which caused practitioners to take notice that, in fact, I probably have something going on in my body, because I'm reacting so strongly to the antibacterial, holistic antibacterial products I was putting in my body, that it was decided to go ahead and give me the heavy-duty oral antibiotics, and now I have the IV going in, and I'm very excited about that. I've noticed a lot of change since I started the IV 4 weeks ago, and I'm hoping to continue to notice changes. I'm steadily working on trying to put together my story. This is my coffee. It's morning. I have not given that up. That is my medicine. The Ojibwa call it Makade Mishkigi Bobo. It's my sacred medicine, black medicine water. I have to have my 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and I'm having it with you folks. So I'm here, happy to say I'm still alive, although throughout this past year of treatment I didn't know if I was still going to be alive. It was rough. I had pain beyond description in the beginning of treatment, and towards the middle of, I think last spring. It is now September. I think February and March were the worst months of all. I felt pain throughout all my limbs, my lower back, it was neural pain and also skeletal pain. My spinal cord had moved over and developed a huge hump that I believe was probably a biofilm, a Lyme biofilm, which has gone down significantly. The spine has moved 3 inches over and is more in line with where it's supposed to be, and it's looking more and more like my body will be able to support me walking one day. Yes, I still have to do pressure releases, but the pain has been reduced a great deal. What would I like to say to you folks out there? I'm very grateful for each of your stories, and I think about you and send my thoughts and prayers to you. I'm only here because I've had your stories and your faith and your confidence that this can be treated and healed. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have made it. It's been a very rough year. As I said, I fully intended to report as I went along in my treatment, and I wasn't able to. My head was down most of the time. It was very hard to remain coherent and cognizant. Brain fog had settled in, and I'm out of that, able to speak words about this. I'm working on a book. I haven't been able to really type or do a whole lot in front of the screen. However, I did pick up a digital recorder, and I've made pretty regular entries into that, and I am moving towards gathering my data for my book, which I hope to put out to all of you, and to all of those who don't know how bad and serious this illness is. I know there are many people stricken with it who are unaware of it. They've been given inappropriate diagnoses with no known causes, like I was given some 20 years ago. I was told I had MS and that it had no known cause. And at the time, what can you do with a diagnosis like that? You're losing your ability to walk. I had all kinds of things going on in my life, and I didn't know how to challenge it. Doctors didn't know anything about this around where I live, so I had to accept it and deal with all the crap going on in my life anyways. Now that I know it's Lyme's disease, I know that the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis is not a valid diagnosis. It was not a valid diagnosis for me, and is most likely not a valid or appropriate diagnosis, please hear me, for anybody who receives it until they have overturned all the stones and tried to find out what the cause of the illness is. A diagnosis without a known cause is not a valid diagnosis. That is my most resounding statement that I want to make to all of you. Do not accept it. If you get a diagnosis like MS or dementia, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, right down, there's so many different diagnoses that are masking Lyme's disease. Do not accept it if there's no known cause to any diagnosis that you get. Pursue further information and pursue. Look up IGeneX. Google IGeneX on the computer. It is a lab out in California that does a more comprehensive screening of blood tests for Lyme's disease. They actually read more of the bands on the blood test, which indicate whether or not you test for the presence of antigens, which indicate the presence of Lyme, Borrelia burgdorferi, or its co-infections. There is the ELISA test that is given in the standard doctor's office. It's a standard clinical blood test, which is not appropriate. It's only about 50%, if 50% accurate. And a lot of us, I was one of them, slipped through the cracks. We don't want that to happen to you folks. With this disease, you must be proactive in treating it and seeking help and seeking more information. And if you're given a diagnosis with no known cause, don't accept it. Go somewhere else. Keep knocking on doors. Keep going. Be bullheaded. Do whatever you got to do. Talk to people. Get informed. Don't be passive in your treatment. Live. Live. You must nourish your desire to live and grab onto any positive experiences that you can get, experiences or thoughts, or don't accept a meaningless diagnosis. And I think that it was my greatest folly. I could have saved a lot of years of suffering if I had not accepted that open-ended diagnosis, and it wasn't appropriate. And I want to say to you folks out there who are physicians and doctors, do your work. Do not be passive cogs in the wheel of this dysfunctional medical system. Get your acts together. Stop being lazy. Stop taking the kickbacks from the pharmaceuticals. Get your acts in gear and work for your patients. They need your help. You may contract Lyme disease one day or some other disease, and you want to know what the cause is. So you be a good advocate like you're paid to do. There's something called a Hippocratic Oath. Yes, this is my bitch session. I'm going to give it. So, Hippocratic Oath. You are to do more care than harm to your patients. That's my word for today. And that's all I'm going to say. I will be back. I know I will be back. But for now, God bless to all of you, and will have more to say once I've calmed down a little bit. Love and blessings to all of you out there who are working on this, because it does suck. And I'm going to say that. Love and blessings. Over and out.